Laurel Canyon, 1960s Los Angeles, the epicenter of flower power, free love, and the rock revolution that supposedly shattered the establishment. Peace signs, LSD, anti-war anthems. But look closer, and the canyon reveals its true face, a playground for the statist elite, nuclear war planners from Rand, Rockefeller bloodlines, occult manipulators, and intelligence assets. All mingling in the shadows, while the youth below dance to their scripted rebellion. Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where we expose how the powerful, the ruling class of think tanks and tycoons, engineer culture to control the people. Today, the cynical web of Laurel Canyon. Rand's cold calculations, rock legends, occult undercurrents, and a death list that smells like cover-up. The torch is lit? Let's see what burns. The Rand Corporation, established in 1948 by the U.S. Air Force, was no ordinary think tank. It was the powerful's war room for quantifying death, how to win nuclear Armageddon with the Soviets through relentless reductive math. Problems from designing new bombers to improving inner-city public education boiled down to cold equations, human lives reduced to variables. At the helm for decades, Albert Wohlstetter, mathematical logician and nuclear strategist. In the 1950s, he argued U.S. bases should stay vulnerable, bait to provoke Soviet strikes, justifying endless arms buildup. His disciples? A who's who of future neocons. Richard Pearl, who dated his daughter, Paul Wolfowitz, Zalmay Khalilzad, men who'd later architect the Iraq invasion with fabricated WMDs. Andrew Marshall, Rand economist turned Pentagon Yoda, pushed the revolution in military affairs under Rumsfeld, high-tech warfare for perpetual empire. Cynical detail. These war games weren't confined to Santa Monica offices. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, Wohlstetter hosted his disciples cross-legged on the floor of his stylish Laurel Canyon home. The canyon, whispers of a secret military intelligence facility, Masonic lodges, OSS veterans, CIA cutouts, skull and bones ties, was the perfect veil for the statist salon. Dr. Strangelove's workplace, indeed. The powerful plotting endless war while the people grooved to peace and love down the hill. Now weave in the Rockefellers, the archetypal statist dynasty, blending oil monopolies with eugenics foundations and global control. In 1948, Winthrop Rockefeller, fourth son of John D. Jr., marries Eva Bobo Sears, born Judee Paulekas to Lithuanian immigrant parents in a coal patch near Noblestown, PA. Bobo's brief Hollywood career then moved to Paris as secretary at the U.S. Embassy. Aliases include Eva Paul Sears, Barbara Paul Sears, Bobo, Rockefeller. The wedding? A society splash, but the Paulekas family, Bobo's relatives, dismissed as uncultured cheesemakers, barred from attending. Why? Bobo's father was brother to Vito Paulekas' father, making Vito, self-styled king of the hippies, a first cousin of Bobo. Rockefeller and cousin-in-law to Winthrop Rockefeller. Vito was also cousin to their child, Winthrop Paul Rockefeller, later lieutenant governor of Arkansas. Paulekas family missed the wedding. Time noted Bobo's mother and stepfather were making Lithuanian cheese on their Indiana farm. Alternative explanation: family excluded as too uncultured for guests like the Duke and Duchess of Windsor and Marquess of Blandford. Vito Paulekas, canyon freak dance pioneer, free love communes, LSD spectacles. The godfather of the hippie scene that birthed the Byrds, Doors, and more. His troupe influenced everyone from Frank Zappa to the GTOs. Cynical irony: the Rockefellers, champions of population control and elite planning, tied by blood to the organic counterculture. Was Vito's chaos genuine rebellion or a statist distraction? Flood the youth with drugs and hedonism, while Rand's boys upstairs calculated the next war. The people chase liberation. The powerful consolidate power through division and degeneracy. Laurel Canyon's music wasn't just rebellion. It dripped occult venom. The Rolling Stones plunge into Satanism. Mick Jagger scores Kenneth Anger's Invocation of My Demon Brother and commissions Lucifer Rising, soundtrack by Jagger, later solicited from Jimmy Page, who owned Aleister Crowley memorabilia, including Boleskine Estate. Final soundtrack by Bobby Beausoleil, who replaced Vito Paulekas, Vito's son. Lucifer Rising starred Mansonite Bobby Beausoleil, pre-prison footage in Invocation of My Demon Brother. Donald Cammell's performance, originally for Marlon Brando, stars James Fox with soundtrack by Jack Nitzsche, occultist son of a medium. Early career with Phil Spector's Wall of Sound. Worked with Sonny Bono, Laurel Canyon collaborator with Buffalo Springfield, Neil Young, Crazy Horse, Randy Newman, Michelle Phillips, The Turtles, Captain Beefheart, Carole King. Nietzsche composed soundtrack in a witch's cottage in the canyon. Hired Lowell George, added to death list. Cammell, son of Charles Richard Cammell, friend and biographer of Aleister Crowley. Cammell, godson of Crowley. John Phillips on performance, about estranging from society for new order. With really intelligent people, it's almost a matter of inbreeding. The deaths pile up. The Laurel Canyon list. Brian Jones drowns July 3, 1969, age 27, days after dumped by the Stones. Jim Morrison follows, age 27. Steve Brandt overdoses 1969 after frantic calls post-Manson murders. Made frantic LAPD calls fearing for life, fled to NYC. Died after attempting to run on stage at Rolling Stones concert, beaten by guard. David Blue, Stuart David Cohen, born February 18, 1941. Father deployed overseas, returned depressed on crutches, hellish home with rages, silences, half-sister Suzanne busted for prostitution. 1963, died in morgue months later. Blue joined Navy at 17 like Lenny Bruce, booted like Jimi Hendrix. Folk singer, first album 1966. Produced by Graham Nash, who produced Judee Sill. Signed to Asylum label with Sill. Died December 2nd, 1982, jogging in Washington Square Park, unnoticed in morgue 3 days. Lowell George, born April 13, 1945, founder of Little Feat, session musician for Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention. Died June 29, 1979, age 34, heart attack in Arlington hotel room, body cremated, ashes scattered in canyon. Judee Sill, born October 7, 1944, first artist signed to David Geffen's Asylum label, folk rock singer, died November 23, 1979, age 35, overdose in North Hollywood apartment. Tim Buckley, born February 14, 1947, folk jazz rock singer, died June 29, 1975, age 28, overdose in Santa Monica. The Brando family canyon ties. Marlon Brando's son Christian shoots Cheyenne's boyfriend Dag Drawlett May 16, 1990. Cheyenne, born 1970, suicide by hanging. April 16, 1995, age 25. Marlon's girlfriend Bonnie Lee Bakley murdered May 4, 2001, tied to Robert Blake. Nietzsche dies 2000. Cammell shoots himself 1996. Cynical pattern. The canyon's free spirits die young and suspiciously, while the powerful Rand planners Rockefeller can thrive. Controlled opposition? Flood the culture with occult chaos and drugs, erode families and traditions, then harvest the neocons for endless wars. The web closes tight. Wohlstetter's Canyon Salon birthing neocons who'd sell perpetual war. Rockefeller's linked through hidden kin to the hippie facade. OSS CIA veterans, Masonic networks, OTO occultists, all in one foggy valley. Callboy scandals whispered for elite blackmail. This wasn't coincidence. The powerful use culture as a weapon. Rand's quantitative coldness for policy, occult hedonism for distraction. The 1960s revolution didn't threaten the state, it neutered real resistance, turning anti-war energy into self-destruction while Vietnam raged. Cynical truth. Laurel Canyon was a statist prototype. Think tanks plotting empire, elites seeding degeneracy, deaths silencing loose ends. The people inherited division, the powerful inherited control. Laurel Canyon reminds us, the ruling class doesn't fear rebellion. They manufacture it, then harvest the chaos. But webs woven by the powerful can be torn by the people. Question the connections, reject the distractions, and build voluntary order against their coercion. If this web unsettled you, subscribe for more exposures of the powerful's hidden games. Comment, what canyon tie reeks most of statist engineering? Until next time, stay cynical. This is the Stateless Standard, signing off.